Aubrey, Texas, and this is my question. It's a simple yes or no question. Will you vote for a health care bill that would use my tax dollars to fund abortion?
All right.
Recently at Denton, but now at Corinth, Texas. And I have a two-part question, if I may. First of all, I have read, and I'd like to know if it's true, that we have a shortage right now of about 400,000 doctors in this country. And that there's only really a very small percentage of Americans who are not covered under some form of insurance. Yet if we bring those uninsured people all under a government-run program, we're going to have a real shortage of doctors, which will result in rationed health care. And as one who is now in the senior citizens ranks, I'm pretty concerned about that. Do I have reason to be concerned, Congressman?
Short answer is yes.
My second question is, what can we who are here today to show our support of our country, of you, and our reluctance to have socialized medicine, what can we do to help you when you get back to Congress, and what's going to happen when you all go back and sit?
Well, remember, the focus of this activity will go to the Senate side almost immediately we get back. I know our two senators are basically good on this, but I wouldn't hesitate to let them hear from you. And then keep the pressure on. Keep the pressure on the House. Keep the pressure on the Senate. Don't let up on this, because you gained too much ground in the last 3 months. Again, at the end of May, I didn't think it was possible for us to stop anything. We passed cap and trade on a committee, the horrible bill. Pushing through the House by pushing arms and dragging tails and spending dollars on people's districts. I was afraid the same thing was going to happen on health care. I don't have that fear today. I've got great hope for what we're going to be able to do when we get back.
And according to Nancy, what is her name?
For losers.
And I want to know if this is a mom. Where is Tony Soprano?
This doesn't look like a mob, this looks like home.
On renewables and energy, you're on that committee, correct? My company's kind of a small wind company, and we do big wind and small wind, but my question is, the bill that was passed in spring on like small wind support and small grid implementation, is there new legislation to support that and implement that, and how well is that going?
Well, as you know, we did pass a bill on the House side that, yes, arguably where there's some good things in there for wind energy, perhaps so, but there were a lot of things that were just absolutely unacceptable. So the big question is, what's going to happen over on the Senate side? And I can't tell you. Right now, they don't want to touch it. They saw what happened after the House passed the bill. I mean, I came home on the day after we passed that bill for the 4th of July recess. I go to my Keller Town Hall. I missed the last plane out of Washington that night, and I had to get up early, arrive here just in time to get down there. And people were focused on what we had just done the night before. I wondered if anyone was paying attention. I needed to wonder. People were paying attention. People were concerned. So you had members of Congress who got talked into voting for that bill, even though their district might have been opposed to it. They're walking in their 4th of July parade somewhere behind the American Legion and just in front of the Boy Scouts. And people are yelling from the side, "Next time, read the bill!" They came back to Washington, and literally, you could see that there was fear in their faces. They had heard from their constituents, and I don't know that the Senate wants to replicate that. So what happens going forward with cap and trade or energy, renewable energy, or a comprehensive energy bill, I can't tell you. I can tell you politically, it's become a hot potato, and the Senate has never been known for its courage, as I've outlined to you before. We'll have to wait and see what they do. But I appreciate what you're doing, and what you're doing is important. I would like anything to have a residential wind generator at my house, and sell electricity back to Encore. I would like that very much. Not everyone can do that, but at the same time, if your company and the advancement of technology that you're working on is going to make that possible, if I could just convince the Louisville City Council that things aren't that noisy and they're not that dangerous if you're a bird. Okay? Got a question? Make your way up here to the floor. We'll try to proceed in orderly fashion. Eric, apparently you have a line formed up behind you, so be cognizant of that. Okay.
Yes, I'll be very quick. I lived in Richmond for many years, so I lived under the nightmare of socialized ones. So I was very, very scared too. And I have a question, which will bother me every time I hear about giving entitlement, is why are they taking away $450 from us senior citizens who have contributed to the system and keeping support-enabled aliens and non- I'm giving completely fair. My mother is a Latina, so I have a little sign saying Latinos against health care.
Well, thank you.
It's just not fair.
Thank you for the question, and you identified what is an enormous problem, and something through all the hearings that we've had that I've been telling folks up there that if we don't do something to address the problem that we have, then we have not fixed anything. We can put a label on it and say this is healthcare reform, but you've identified, in Texas at least, what would prevent that from being successful. Now, there is language in the bill introduced by the Democrats in an amendment that said there will not be, that none of these benefits will be available to someone who's not in the country legally. The problem is the amendment that required identification was knocked out. And so we know that it was honest, and you all are honest, but at the same time, we really ought to have some ability to verify and provide, make sure we have the proper controls on this. Otherwise, it becomes another big magnet that draws people into the country illegally, and we don't want that.
Thank you for your time. First of all, I have no swastikas here. And you can tell the speaker that nobody else here has them either. But I'm scared as well. I mean, I'm scared. And my biggest fear is this is going to get rammed down our throats with Blue Dog Democrats. There's some that are on the bubble. There's a very small number of people that control whether this passes or not. And I understand they're probably in a, I'd like you to elaborate on this, or what kind of political box are they in? They're probably going to get crucified by their constituents over the next month. So they're going to hammer them. Obama is going to hammer them if they don't vote for it. So how do you think this is going to play out with this bill getting rammed down our throats within the next month, 2 months, 3 months?
Well, on the subject of the Blue Dogs, I mean, how strange was it to have us go home without passing a health care bill and say the Blue Dogs made our homework? They did us an enormous favor by slowing this down. Now, at the end of the day, the pressure was enormous. The pressure on not just the members, but on their staff. And sometimes I don't envy the position they're in, but if you can't take the heat, you stay out of the kitchen, which is what their icon, Harry Truman, said many, many years ago. They slowed it down to the point that your voices now make a difference in what this legislation looks like when it comes back in September. And I've said it before, my great hope is that perhaps both sides, perhaps Blue Dogs, Republicans, other Democrats can get together, ignore their leadership, and focus on some of the problems that really need to be fixed and get away from this societal changing event that most of us see in front of us. We know we got people who can't get into D.C. where they need to be seen. We know we got big problems with our workforce and the numbers, which another individual brought up. These are within our power to fix, but they don't require turning the entire system on its head in order to accomplish what needs to be done for that.